Greetings and welcome to a playthrough of The Legend of Zelda. I am MT and I will be playing through it today. Well, probably won't be just today, but my general goal is to go through the game and defeat Ganon and gather the Triforce. One of the things I want to do is see how much stuff I can get without going through the dungeons. I want to try to get second the magical sword and the blue ring and a couple of hearts before I end up fighting Dungeon 1. Which isn't that hard to do. You just need to know where some stuff is, and I've played this game often enough where I can find pretty much everything I need right off the bat, right at the beginning. Now, it doesn't mean that I won't die a couple times or screw up. These things happen. But with a little bit of luck and a little bit of skill, I'll be able to do pretty good. So, I don't quite know all the names and things like that of the creatures and enemies because I never really bothered reading the booklet too much when I was young or memorizing any of that. I just always thought it was more enjoyable to play the game than to read the story. Later on, I cared a bit more about the story, but it's all about the exploration for me. That's what I found most enjoyable. And this is what I wanted, a bomb. So bombs will let me get quite a few places. It'll open up the first of the secrets for me to obtain, including this one right here, where I get some secret rupees. 30. So I'm already building quite a nice amount of funding. I haven't decided what my first major purchase is going to be. Whether I'm going to save up right away for the blue ring, or whether I'm going to try to get a candle. Oh, come on. Because a candle can help me get even more secrets. And the blue ring, of course, helps you survive. It's 1/2 the damage you take. So the other major thing I gotta get up here before I die is the old letter from the old man. It lets me buy potions from any of the old women. Before you have the letter, if you try to get the potion... So I paused because I had a phone message, but... So I got the letter, show it to the old women. Before you show them the letter, they just kind of sit in their caves doing nothing, which isn't very beneficial to me. There we go. No more beeping. And this should be heart container, which is pretty darn good in my opinion. It's one of the few you can get right at the beginning of the game. there are a couple others that you can get, but I'm gonna need bombs. Stopwatch is one of the best. If you can get it early enough, it's one of the best. There's a lot of times where they drop it one of the last enemies and it kind of feels worthless, but there's not much I can do about that. It's all a luck of the draw. There we go, more bombs, so I can go to my next destination and pick up even more secrets. Because to get the white sword, you need... And I just went in a circle. I think you need 5 hearts to get the first sword upgrade. And I think there is 3... You start out with 3 hearts, of course, but I think there are 3 hearts you can get pretty much right away. And that's what I'm working toward. So I got the first one at one of those rocks. And I think the second one is just south of here. Of course, I'm a little bit out of practice, which is why I'm getting hit so much. But no big deal. I'll learn as I go, of course. I think it's right there. And there we go. Money, money, money. Of course I want this one. And I guess I'm gonna try to make my way up to where you can get the first sword upgrade and see if it actually is 5 hearts. I'm hoping it is, because that'll make everything else I want to do much easier, which of course is why I'm playing the game this way as opposed to I can't remember if there's a secret here. Alright, one of those hints that helps you beat the game. So there's a hint that you get later. Just go up the mountain ahead. And that's the mountain. And it leads you to dungeon 5, I think. Alright, he didn't shoot me, that's good. Because it's a pretty tough enemy. And I've mastered using it, which I guess means just be good enough to get 5 hearts. Didn't really take too much. So I'm hoping people drop rupees and things like that, because I need 49 more in order to get the blue ring. And once I get that, it's really the majority of the starting gear you can get. And you can still get things like the big shield, you can get candle, things like that, which are pretty good, but I don't find them as necessary as the upgrades to your attack and to your defense. Those seem essential to me. But it does come down to a lot of rupee farming rupee farming, not ruby, right in the beginning of the game. That's my fault for missing like that. Controller's not the greatest, but you know, what are you gonna do? Ultimately, I'm the one behind the controller, so kind of missing the fact that I don't have a boomerang at the moment. But don't get the boomerang until you go to Dungeon 1, and you get the magic boomerang in Dungeon 2. The others, I mean, this game kind of has some interesting way it handles the special items that you get. Some of the dungeons give you a couple things, some of the dungeons give you like one thing. Dungeon 2 feels weird because it doesn't have the treasure room that the later dungeons will have. It's got... You just beat up some random enemies, well not random, they're boomerang throwing guys, but you just beat them up and then you get the magic boomerang, they drop it in the room. So this is an old lady and show her the letter. And then she sells medicine. So blue medicine is 1 dose, red medicine is 2 dose. You use the red medicine, it turns into blue medicine. Pretty simple. It's also a bargain because it costs less than twice the blue. That's a trick called math. So I'm going to be farming these Octoroks, I suppose they are, for a little bit. Before I can... Cheeky. Before I can get the money to get the blue ring. And I wish they dropped more gems, kind of annoying. It's all random generated. Wow, I said gems. Rupees, not gems. They look like giant diamond things, but of course they're not. These guys, see, I often wonder if there is a drop rate for certain enemies. I don't think so, but things like those red, I don't know what they're called, but they hide out in the deserts and pop out and things like that. For me, they've always seemed to drop more rupees than other enemies. And when they drop them, they tend to be the 5 rupee drop and not the single rupee drop. But it could just be confirmation bias, it could just be a statistical anomaly, it could just be all in my head. I don't know, I just feel that way. I forget how many screens you have to go before the enemies come back. But there's a certain number of screens. A certain number of screens before the enemy respawns. I think it's like 5. It might be 3 in a dungeon. Like I said, I don't know, I haven't really counted. So only 4 more rupees to go. I'm gonna start trying to make my way back to the shop. There we go. And the game only lets you carry 255. There's a programming reason for that, I recall. I just don't know the exact reasoning behind it, but a lot of stuff, the max number you can get for things is 255. And I think if you die or save 250 times, it's like an actual game over instead of just a secret shop. Capitalism. He's got the only one, sells it for max price. That's fine. And you'll notice that my link is now blue, which there's a bunch of little things like I'm trying to remember, but because of the palette limitations of the NES, Link's costume's color is tied to a bunch of different things on the screen that are now blue instead of red. Or blue instead of green from his previous. Ooh, boy. And red's the final ring you get. You get it in the final dungeon. And it reduces the damage you take from 1/2 to 1/4. So the other things I want to get before I go into the first dungeon is I want to get enough money to buy a candle, and I want to get good so I stop getting hit by things, because that's really embarrassing. Actually, I think I'll go get the power bracelet because it will help me travel the world. And once I get that, I can use the quick travel system. Quick travel system is pretty handy. So this maze always caught me up a little bit when I was young. There is someone who tells you the way to go. I just kind of remember it. Go north, west, south, and west, and you get through the forest maze. And there's some tough enemies here. I can't block their attacks because they don't have a big shield or the magic shield. So I just kind of run from those centaur creatures. I forget what their actual name is. I'm sure it's not centaur creature. That was some luck right there. And if I remember right, one of these, I think it's a potion shop. It is. So, there was a... Whoops. Can't move until I finish talking. There was a dungeon on a couple screens over, so that's kind of helpful for when you get to the higher level dungeons. There we go. Oh, I got it. That's good enough. I forget what this shop is. Arrows for the bow you get in Dungeon 1 and big shield. I don't have the money for the big shield. Otherwise I'd grab it. I think 130 is a decent price. I think it's normally 160. This dead end right here. No. This dead end right here. So once you get the ladder, you can cross over the river. I thought there was a secret around here. Maybe I'm going crazy. Nope, not quite crazy. That's the cheapest shield for 90. So if I ever earn 90 rupees, I'll be back. So right now I'm making my way to those over there. Gotta get to the other side. So this is the highway system of Hyrule. So because I get the power bracelet, that little thing up top, I can push these stones now. And I can take any road I want. So one of the places it leads me is right south of a fairy fountain. Good for healing. This, if I started with this one, I think this is the one you push. The other road I can take is this one. It's right near the beginning. I'm like three map boards from the starting board. The other one I can take brings me to here, which is where I got the 100 rupee secret, and there was a heart and stuff like that nearby. And the other one takes me to near where the power bracelet is. This is like the foothills of Death Mountain. So travel quite fast across the map. And I think that's where I'm going to end for today. So I hope you enjoyed learning where some of the secrets are, and I'll see you tomorrow.